We would like to start off by giving our honor and glory to
Yahweh
Yahweh by
Ba'ashem,
Hashem,
Yahweh
Yahweh
Shah,
by
Ba'ashem,
Hashem,
Kakadash.
Kakadash. We also want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of great millstone who well, as well as peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of liberty elect. We got a gym that's Mississippi Camp, and today we're going to go into a topic entitled, we're going to get the earth back. All right, and I just had to open a scripture right quick. I'm opening it with Job 9 and 24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right, starting with the, let's say, Renaissance period. That's when we could really say the earth was really given into the hands of Esau. From the Renaissance period up until now, the earth has been in turmoil, right? And we use the analogy of like processed food in the body. When you eat processed food, it's like Esau literally created this to go to war with the body. But Esau was that processed food in the earth. Esau is that agent that's contrary to life, that's causing a great decline within life itself.
He's been at war with the earth since his rebirth.
He's been at war at earth since his rebirth, man.
What they call European colonization is nothing but Esau, Edomite supremacy.
Yeah.
That has conquered the earth, and this devil has created the earth after his image. And it's the image of death. It's the image of war. It's the image of confusion. It's the image of rebellion. So to remove this devil from rulership, okay, that's phase one of us getting the earth back, and that's why the scriptures emphasize on that 1,000-year period. That period is going to be putting emphasis on getting the earth back to its script. I had something too.
Go on, bro.
And with it, we go in the book of Daniel, and this is what a lot of Israelites never really coming to the understanding of what we're a part of, because they don't think outside of a world rule that's not ruled by Esau, But as we really understand what we're a part of, the Lord raised up his men, okay, to understand how the severity of righteous rulership, you know.
What's gonna give up?
Daniel 7 and 18.
Oh, yeah.
We read that a lot, all right, but when you go into the what that entails, because matter of fact, read it and we'll spell about it.
Come, Daniel 7 and 18.
Yep.
But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom.
But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom, go ahead.
And possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever.
So when we talk about taking the kingdom, well, what does that entail? That entails getting the earth back to functioning to its full capacity, man. So we're not just taking the kingdom and we're going to continue on, all right, the same system that Esau has established. No, we're going to destroy every system that this man has established. That's why, Second Peter 3 and 10, okay, when it goes into the destruction, the actual nuclear destruction. Even that nuclear destruction, all right, it serves multiple purposes, because it's going to destroy this man's infrastructure, his power structure, and it's going to cleanse the earth, So when you get into it,
yeah, I got it. You said 2 Peter 3 and 10?
Yeah, real quick, just to make the point.
2 Peter 3 and 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up.
And the point we want to emphasize on, the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Like the system that this man has in place. Like this man has systems that pollute the earth. Like his industrial industry, all right, is nothing but a big pollutant to the earth. We have all this shit that go into the waters, the air, what they call smog. There's people in California that say they only see the actual sky when it's windy. When the wind blows the smog out the way, and they see the sky momentarily, man.
On your apps, you have an air quality meter that tells you the current air quality in your environment. Like, I think it's on your phone. If you get the right installments, it'll tell you, like, just how it'll tell you the current temperature, the current forecast. It'll tell you the current air quality at that moment. Who else being in power caused air pollution, man? Yeah, this is Sirach 10.
Oh, yeah.
I get to the point. The power of the earth, I'm sorry, Sirach 10 and 4. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Yahweh, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. And what is the one that is profitable? For one, it's Yahweh Shai. But Yahweh Shai is going to implement a system, all right, that's going to be in harmony with the earth. Yahweh Shai, because Esau have you thinking that it's either all or nothing.
Yep.
Either we have technology or we're going to live in a primitive state.
Yep.
But Yahweh Shai, the creative elements, he has the technology in which they can be in harmony with the earth.
Yep.
You know?
The earth itself is the technology.
The earth itself is the technology.
You know, because the earth has natural filtering systems.
That's right.
Like the food, not the food, but the animals, okay, like the oysters and certain things, those are natural filters.
Yep.
You know? You have natural air purifier. Look at the trees.
Yeah.
But this devil cuts things down.
Deforestation.
Yeah, deforestation. So the earth itself is technology. When wisdom is applied to it, but he separated people from the wisdom of the earth and trained people up in the wisdom of his technology.
Yep.
So you can work an iPhone, okay, but you can't grow a garden.
You can't go wrong. You see? The average person can't
Yeah,
go wrong.
you can edit a TikTok video, okay, but you don't know how to raise livestock.
You can't raise chickens.
You know?
Because all the animals have a duty. The Most High, Yahweh Shai, and Yahweh Shai created ecosystems. Eco means house. System is which how the ways the house is ran. So the animals you were naming, they are a part of the Most High's ecosystems, in which the earth is self-sustained by these ecosystems, man. All right?
I got a quick one for you.
Come on, bro.
It's Wisdom Solomon chapter 6, verse 24. It says, but the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world, and a wise king is the upholding of the people.
The multitude of the wise. Now, Yahweh Shai is going to use his elect, the 144,000, as pillars, as governors of the world, man. All right? Because the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the people, man. All right? If you can get that in Ecclesiastes about woe to the land when the king is a child. The prince is a child. All right? Because right now we have children in rulership. And what's the nature of a child? For one, they're covetous. All right, and secondly, children don't move for the long run. They don't put systems in place to where they have something for the next generation.
Impulsive.
They're impulsive. A child just wants what it wants at that moment, and he doesn't care about the outcome. All right, and that's the nature of the elites, man.
It's the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 16.
Yep.
Woe to thee, O land, when thy king is a child and thy princes eat in the morning.
Yep. And what's the nature of America? It's indulgent. Americans, I believe, waste 40% of their food. Meanwhile, there's hundreds of millions of people who suffer from food starvation. All right? There isn't, but the earth is a garden. So you mean to tell me you can't turn the earth into a sustainable garden for the rest of the world's population? All right, it's not like we have a shortage of food. The food comes from the soil once you use the right farming methods.
Yep.
You know?
And it says they eat. It says they eat in the morning. You know, because when you wake up in the morning, the first thing what Americans do is eat.
Yep.
You know, before they even fully wake up, Americans are eating in some drive-through, getting a processed, you know, sausage and biscuits or whatever. But you look into what that word breakfast means, when you are going to break fast. And when you go into, you know, European culture when it was Jake ruling, all right, but that whole break fast, first they will wake up and they will have what you call a promenade, which they will walk by water. And then they will come and break their fast, but they've already walked. Then they will break their fast. It will be like a fruit platter. That's what they will break their fast with. But Esau turned breakfast into an industry of meat.
Come on,
you know, and fake bread. You see, so this devil, you know, his mind is completely contrary. The way this man runs the earth is completely contrary to our body, to how the earth functions, you know, and this is why it's so much suffering in the earth, man, because this man has systems that's set up to destroy you, man.
Yep.
You know, I read verse 17, said, blessed art thou, O land, when thy king is the son of nobles, and thy princes eat in due season for strength and not for drunkenness.
And that's the intent with food. The purpose of food was not for pleasure. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's pleasure in it, but the food was for sustainability. So in America, you live to eat. the average westernized mind, they live to eat, and in turn they die prematurely. All right, but hey, going back to those princes who are the son of nobles, all right, they implement systems in the planet, all right, that allows everybody to live a sustained life, man. All right, the laws are not just because the Most High is some big meanie. He's some big meanie, and he's Mister from Color Purple in the skies. They want to rule over the black woman. You know, no, the laws are put in place to engender a certain outcome. All right, and the outcome is for basically peace, flourishing, all right, self-sustainability. You see?
Yep. And going into that mindset behind, you know, eating, you know, for strength. And it says eat in due season, because when you're a ruler, when you wake up, the first thing you do, you handle the affairs of your kingdom.
Yep.
And that goes into putting yourself last too. Like how Yahweh Shah said, he that is greatest must be like a servant. Because when you're a king, when you're a ruler, in any capacity, your rulership is supposed to do a good service to the people that you're ruling over. Because it's gonna come with perks anyway, you know. But it's a two-way street to where the rulership benefit the people, and then by default, the people gonna benefit the ruler.
Yeah.
You know, but it's a two-way street, and this is one of the things that we had to learn in this captivity, man. You know, the responsibility that comes with being a ruler. You know, so that ruler that eat in due season, that's the traits of a responsible ruler. You know, I got something for you. This is Rock 42 and 22. It says, "Oh, how desirable are all his works, and that a man but see even to a spark. All things live and remain forever for all uses, and they are all obedient. All things are double one against another, and he have made nothing imperfect. One thing established the good of another, and who shall be filled with beholding his glory?"
Yep.
You know, so going into how everything has their use. When everything was created, it was created with its purpose already built into it. And see, the true wisdom is understanding the purpose of what creation does and putting things in place for creation to flourish, man. Because everything benefits one another, man. All right, everything we see, the birds benefit the flowers, the bees benefit the birds, the cows benefit the soil.
Yeah.
You know, the beavers benefit, you know, the fish benefit the bears, you know, everything has its uses, and everything was already built with this purpose in it from the beginning. When the Elohim said Tawab, when they created something and said Tawab, it goes into what? Agreeable, pleasurable. It goes into to the sensation of men.
Yeah.
You know, but it just goes into how everything was agreeable with one to another.
Just imagine tasting fruit in its natural state, and then having a woman that y'all genuinely love each other, that she has your offspring that looks like you, and they're flourishing in the planet. They don't have to get vaccinations. They don't have to go to some daycare. They don't have to go to some school tray at the lunch cafeteria. They don't have to have bullies. You know, you're not inhaling chemtrails. Imagine air in its natural state.
You don't have to teach them to survive the ghetto.
You don't have to teach them to survive the ghetto. So these things, if you ever seen the movie Avatar, which is one of my favorite movies because of this. All right, Avatar 1 and 2. They showed you Pandora, but they really showed you how the earth was supposed to be in like a metaphorical way. All right, because he tasted fruit and was like, oh my God, what is this? He breathed the air, you know? So just like he was put into that avatar, we was put into these earth suits to experience pleasures that we could not experience in the spiritual world. But there was laws that we had to follow to sustain that paradise, you know?
And I got a quick one since you said that, speaking about even just the joy of children, you know? Because Esau has everything at war. Like I say, the food is at war with your body.
Yeah.
You at war with the woman. The woman at war with the children. You know, you at war with your brethren. You know what I'm saying? It's just a complete war. But when you go into the book of Sirach, chapter 25, verse 7, it said, "There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy. And the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemies."
And there's 2 beautiful points. Because like you said, you're supposed to have joy in your children. They look like you. They're happy that you made it home.
They act like you.
They act like you. They might do some little dance to make you laugh, you know. But then it says a man that lives to see the downfall of his enemies. Don't you know what we're at the peak of the destruction? Like we're at the tilt of it, at the precipice of this man's downfall, man. We're here. We're alive to see it, man. All right? And it's not just, this man's going to come out of power and Russia's going to come back in power.
No.
And it's going to be like a Russian rendition of the westernized world. No, we're going to have a total shift. The earth is going to be run by a whole different software program, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
I got a quick one. Says to show you that pleasure ain't wicked, but they're just, it's being, what's wine drunk in moderation.
That's right.
So it's just all about being moderate in the pleasure, you know? Because when you're moderate something, you enjoy it more. When you don't drink that much and you finally have a drink, like, you enjoy that drink way more than you drink it every day.
You enjoy every note.
Yep.
You know, if you're not having sex 5 times a day, you enjoy sex when you do have it.
Yep.
If you eat with a steak every blue moon,
Yep.
it's like, oh my God.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You taste everything.
Yep.
You know?
This is the book of Psalm chapter 16, verse 11. It said, "Thou wilt show me the path of life, and thy presence is fullness of joy, and at thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore."
Because the Israelite man, well, ultimately the Most High was a Judite.
Mm-hmm.
And the Israelite man, we love what the Most High created. The Sirach tells you how pleasant melodies are.
Mm-hmm.
Sirach tells you how pleasant wine and music is.
Mm-hmm.
So doesn't Israel like music? You like a little drink?
Yeah.
You like the food at the bar?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a table full of like refreshment.
Yeah.
We like all that. You love the women.
Yeah.
So who created that, man? You know?
Done.
The Hebrew way is just we do it in moderation.
Yeah.
The Edomite way is this is your life.
Yeah.
The Romans laid up with each other freaking origin.
Yeah.
You know?
Because you really look at it like we would do those things like in the evening, but at nighttime we shut everything down.
Right.
That Bacchus and that Dionysus spirit, you know, that was that all-night party and revelry, you know. But like I say, we did things in moderation, you know. Like I say, you enjoy it more, you see, because like we were listening to like when we were cooking yesterday, we were listening to the Whispers, and the young brother from Nashville, he's like, man, what is this music? You know, he said it's so soothing, you know. But let's go into how, you know, this devil, you know, he has overstimulated everybody's senses to they don't even enjoy the simple things anymore, man. You know, like this is a real, like we're gonna see in the kingdom how much this man tainted or life in the earth, man. You know, he had tainted the life experience in the earth, man. You know, I got a quick one. That's why Yahweh Shai, you know, I always going through. He's one of my favorite scriptures because when you go to St. John 10:10. It says, "The thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly." And see, Yahweh Shai is going to bring abundance back to the earth. Because see, in this devil's kingdom, you always in the mindset of scarcity. The fact that your bills outweigh your income, that's an off balance. Like it should never be like that. The earth was created to be abundance, man. There's so much land and resources in the earth, all right, that everyone should be able to have in the state and sustain themselves and have something to pass down to their children. But this devil has became the middleman of all the resources, and he distributes them, you know, in a way of scarcity, to where he gives you just enough dollars to where you can get just enough for your resources to live. And that's scarcity, man. Yahweh Shai, he's going to create a system of abundance when he comes to the earth. Of course, beginning with the Israelites, okay? But then eventually, even the heathen, after their 1,000 years of captivity, they're going to get to enjoy abundance in the earth under a righteous rulership.
Yeah, and then that car note, right? It's basically like a mule, like a horse.
Yeah.
Your car can't reproduce with another car and make another car. You know what I mean? Because like when Yahweh Hashem Shai set up these systems and these estates, your property reproduced itself.
Yep.
And it was established for you to expand. All right, and you pass it down to your progeny. You got this car that's depreciating in value.
Yep.
and then you constantly paying this high interest rate.
Yep.
All right,
Then you got the maintenance of
you
motherfucker.
gotta maintenance it. It
Might
put
break
gas in. Come
down,
on, man.
yeah.
Get in a car accident,
Yep.
and you gotta have insurance.
Yep.
And a lot of times you might not even have enough money to pay the deductible when you get into an accident.
Yep.
So man, this man, and then the money you're using is not gold and silver.
Yep.
So he confined you to paper money that's gonna decay in the earth, and he subject and he gave that to you to have limited resources, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then the resources are fake,
Yep.
like plastic.
Yep.
Most of the stuff we have is made out of plastic, so we don't even have authentic resources.
Yep.
You know, that's all I had.
That's all I had to you. Close it out.
All right, with that, we hope you were edified. So you want to give our honor word to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh, by Hashem, Kakodash, that will underscore our elder apostles and elder bishops of great millstone with well. Peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David for the elect. Abba, come out, Shalom. Shalom.